So, Miitopia is returning, but this time instead of a tiny little 3DS, you'll be playing the thing on a Switch. But the best thing about this re-release isn't the game itself. It's the new enhanced Mii creation tools. I'm sure you've seen insanely impressive images of characters on Twitter, which made you wonder, how powerful is this thing? Well, the answer is pretty damn powerful. I've put in well over 15 hours so far, and I've made a few of my friends for my own playthrough. Nintendo actually released the game's demo with the character creator ahead of time, so there's already a massive wealth of characters from across all kinds of media. You want Terminator? They got Terminator. You want Sans? They got Sans. You want the Ahigo face? It's out there, but no, we're not showing it. Anything you can't find, you can go ahead and attempt to make yourself, but there's some stuff you should know ahead of time. I'm going to do my best to teach you what I've learned after putting 15 hours into the character creator. First of all, know that going in, the first Mii you create will be your game's hero. Currently in the demo, this first Mii cannot be deleted or swapped out for another once it's given the hero role. So when I made my first attempt at RubberRoss, I discovered a viewer had made a near perfect on model one, and I was unable to swap it, and now I'm stuck with this one. When starting out from scratch on a new Mii character, the Mii you make in the regular editor should be looked at as a kind of canvas that you'll be building upon. You can always change it later on if needed. Once you've created your base Mii, you'll be able to apply makeup. This is where all the wizardry is done. There are different sections to work with once inside. The most important thing you should know is that if you want something to read and move as eyes, you've got to build it in the eyes section. Same goes for the mouth and brows. And if you don't, the various expressions will break horrifically. One of the big mistakes I made early on was that in order to move fast through creating, I would copy and paste shapes, which is done in the Edit Selection menu by hitting X. The only thing is that in copying stuff from the left eye to the right eye, it retains the properties of being the opposite eye. This can be indicated by the little purple arrows next to the shapes. This is how the game will animate the shapes. Getting this wrong will cause the face to collapse in on itself. Also, be sure to check everything is stacked correctly in the change layering section. Anything at the top will be above, anything below will be at the bottom. It's basically the same as any illustration program. Some objects, like the eyes, are placed with symmetry by default. If you don't want symmetry, you can select the option to edit one side at a time. For things you don't want to animate and you want to stay stationary, your best bet is using the shapes in the blush option. This is great for facial details, but unlike eyes and brows, you can't turn off symmetry. If you want asymmetry, you can check out masks or stickers in the other listing. This is also where you can change the skin color in the foundation menu. Any shape can have its color change, but do make sure that you click the details button below for more control over your color. This comes in very useful when you are trying to match color on shapes you want to add to the hair or to match shapes to skin color. Another mistake I made early on was that I would shrink down the default Mii's facial features to hide them behind the more complicated creations. You shouldn't do this. Instead, find ways to build off them. If the eyes and mouths are really small under the makeup, they will animate as if they're really small. Another thing you can do is if you want to add extra detail hovering above the face that might not fit into other sections, a cool trick is to give your Mii glasses. Just make them really huge and move them where you need that extra space. Next in makeup, go to Other, and then go to the glasses section, apply makeup, and then immediately above that, tick a box that says Remove Mii Glasses. Keep in mind, you can also do this with eyebrows. Now you have hovering real estate to add above your character. Gradient shapes are really great for creating the illusion of depth and realism on a face, but remember that the limit of shapes you can use on one Mii is 100. If you want to pull from other shapes that wouldn't typically be in that section you're using, you can go all the way to the bottom and hit Other. This will give you access to a lot of other extra shapes, including a selection of eyebrows. Now, I really want to share with you the downsides that I've come across. If you change the face color and foundation, you'll notice that this doesn't affect the other limbs. Unfortunately, the default Mii skin colors have a very limited palette compared to everything else. The biggest downside, though, is author credit. If I download another creator's Mii design, then someone else uses my code, they will find all the Miis that I've downloaded. If they take them, then there's absolutely no indication on who the creator for those Miis was. As these creations spread, it becomes more and more difficult to pinpoint their origin. You can set a creation to secret, but not everyone is going to do that for everything they download elsewhere. I think if you're going to be creating stuff for this game, you just kind of have to accept that your creations are going to just spread through this community like an anonymous virus. I hope this info was helpful. I'm really excited to play the actual game. If you make something and want to share your code, please feel free in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, make sure to like this video to help other people find it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.